Hello everyone! Second English video of the week. I just thought I'd share with you my little friend. She's a limited edition bear, so that means there's not many of her, and she's a bit of like a guardian angel, so if you've got any worries you can just say to her and helps you feel better. So I'm going to stick it to the side now. Okay. So, second English video of the week. Okay, we're going to start with some handwriting. We're just going to get right into it. So you'll need a pencil and some paper. We're going to just start with some warm-up exercises for handwriting today. I'm not going to spend very long on handwriting, but we're going to do some warm-up exercises. So today we are going to do some lines to begin with. Okay, so just lines across your page like this. Try and get them the same size. It's quite difficult, okay? Okay, and then we are going to do a wavy line. Try and get all those waves the same size and the same distance apart from each other. It's quite tricky. And then we are going to do some dots. Same size dots all the way across the page. Same distance apart, try to. Oh, mine's getting a little bit wobbly now. Okay. Then we're going to do some, what should we do? We'll do some hills. Some hills. Almost like the letter N. Some hills. And then you can choose on this final one what pattern you would like to make. Okay, so I am going to do some spirals. Okay, so warm up complete. Okay, so I have got a word for us to practice today. Okay, so this is one of our tricky words, and it's tricky because when we sound it out, it doesn't sound how it is spelled. So the word is would. Okay, so would you like, not as in wood as a tree, on a tree, would you like to go for a walk? It's that would, okay? So it's one of our tricky words because if you sound it out, the sound here does not make the sound, okay? So would, okay? And we don't say the either, okay? So if you are a squirrel, you are looking at this way of writing it up the top here. I'm going to move you a little bit closer, okay? And if you are a hare or a hedgehog, you're going to look at this word, okay? But it's good practice for both of you, practicing your letters and year ones, moving up to year two, practicing your joins, okay? And year twos, keeping it lovely and joined ready for year three, okay? So some of the letters that we practiced on Monday are there, okay? So squirrels. Let's start. And hares and hedgehogs, you can actually do this as well at the same time. Okay, so remember, it needs to sit on the line. And if you look here, the what, and are all the same height, okay? They've got their joins going into the letter and out of the letter, okay? When it comes to our tall letters, they're nice and tall. They're taller than the normal letters, okay? So they're nice and tall, and they are the same size as well. Can you see that? Okay, the same height, they need to be the same height. Now, a little mistake by Miss Andrews, so I'm going to improve when I write this out again, is that this part of the duh is not the same size as these letters here, okay? So remember that part needs to be the same size as well. So it needs to be more like that. Okay, but I'm going to improve on that now. Okay, so remember, we start on the line. For a what, we go from the line, we go all the way up, back down, and up, and back down, and up, and across. Okay, now we're moving to the O, so we start on the line. Now remember, because we're not joining them up, we still don't need to leave huge gaps. They need to be together, otherwise it looks like it's lots of letters and not making a word, okay? So we start on the line, we go all the way up, and back round, and then across for the join for the next letter. So now the we start on the line, we go all the way up, we come all the way back down and round and up, and then back down for the join. Okay, now we're going to do the all. So we start on the line, we go up and round and up, and all the way up, back down and flick. Now we do the duh. Okay, so we start on the line, we go up and round and back down. Now all the way up, back down and flick. Okay. Okay, so hares and hedgehogs, we are moving on to our joined word. Okay, so same with the letters up here. They are all roughly the same size, as close as the same size as you can get them. They're all the same height, aren't they? Our tall letters, as we can see, they're not quite, but tall letters need to be the same height, okay? And we join all the way through. So that means we don't take our pencil off the page, okay? We just continually go in. Now, you don't have to rush it. You can go nice and slowly to make sure it's nice and neat. Okay, so we start on the line. We go up and back down, up, back down, and up, and across. Now we go straight into the off, so we go back down and round and across again. Now we go down and up and back round, and then we go into the nice tall letter, back down, and then we go into the up, round, back down, all the way up, back down, and flick. Okay, you practice that now. Maybe write the words out a couple of times, both squirrels, hares, and hedgehogs. Write the words out a couple of times and try it. So if you need to pause the video, just pause it now, okay? Okay, so today we are going over capital letters and full stops. Now you're thinking, Miss Andrews, that's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Well, that's good. Okay, so we're just going to go over it just to make sure that it's fresh in our minds, that we're making sure we're adding capital letters in the right places, full stops in the right places, okay, because that's something that we forget all the time. It's very easy to forget that when you are writing because you're thinking about your story or what you're trying to write, and you forget to add the capital letters and full stops in, and they're very important. Otherwise, parts of your writing won't make sense, especially if you've not included the full stops. Okay, so let's actually, no, there we go, put the light on, be a bit better, it's getting a bit dark. Okay, so we shall start with the PowerPoint, so let me just bring that up for you now. So while I'm bringing up the PowerPoint, can you remember where you add full stops and capital letters? Okay, so hopefully you can remember that full stops go at the end of a sentence, okay, and capital letters go at the start and for names. So we're going to go through it properly now, okay? So let's remind ourselves of the letters of the alphabet. So let's say it together. So let's do the alphabet. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Quick one there. Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Lovely. Okay, so you should know all your letters of your alphabet. If not, keep practicing that song. Okay, so A capital letter goes at the beginning of a sentence. So if there's a full stop, a capital letter needs to follow it, okay? So a capital letter goes at the beginning of a sentence, okay? Now, if you're writing something like, I like to go to the shop, or I went for a run yesterday, that I needs to be, if you can see it here, needs to be a capital I, not an it like this, okay? So not an it like this, it needs to be a capital I, so an I, okay? And we write capital letters for names of places, so that could be Shrewsbury, Shrewsbury needs a capital letter. Names of people, so Miss and Andrews needs a capital letter. I'll type it here now. So Miss needs a capital letter and Andrews needs a capital letter. See, capital letter there, capital letter here. For someone's name like Sienna needs capital letters. Okay, so all of your names need capital letters. We can see here that days of the week need capital letters because it's a name of a day. Okay, so Monday needs a capital letter. Tuesday needs one. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They all need capital letters because they are the names of the days of the week. Now, months of the year need capital letters because they are the names of the months of the year. So we are currently in, can you remember what month we are in currently? We are in June. So June needs a capital letter, see here, needs a capital letter, not just like this. Okay, so June needs a capital letter. So names of people, names of places, days of the week, months of the year, they all need capital letters, okay? Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so let's have a look here. We've got some sentences. Ooh. Let me just actually hold on with don't peek. Ah, okay, there we go. So we've got some sentences here and the capital letters are missing, so we need to add those capital letters in now. Okay, so straight away, I'm going to give you a few seconds to look at this first sentence. I'll read it for you now. Where should the capital letters be? Okay, so in July, I am going to Cornwall. That's a place. Okay, so where should the capital letters be in that sentence? Okay, so if you need longer, pause the video, okay? So hopefully you would have noticed that there's more than one capital letter missing from this sentence. Let's have a look. So, in needs a capital letter because it's the beginning of the sentence, okay? So it doesn't matter what word comes first, it needs a capital letter if it's the start of a new sentence, okay? So in July, oh, my mouse has gone, there it is. July. Now, July is a month of the year, so it's a name, so it needs a capital letter. And my mouse keeps disappearing, okay? I needs a capital letter, okay, like we said before. Going to Cornwall. Now, I gave you a little bit of a hint. Cornwall is a place, so it needs a capital letter, okay? Now, let's just go back for a second. Okay, so what I didn't mention before is that films, so film names, because it's a name, needs a capital letter, and book titles, so the title of a book needs a capital letter because it's the name of the book, okay? So, let's move on. So we did this one. So the next sentence. My favourite film is Despicable Me. Now I'm going to give you a few seconds now. Where should the capital letters be in that sentence? Okay. My little friend's distracting me. Okay, so let's have a look at that second sentence. So, my favourite film is Despicable Me. So, straight away, what do we need at the start of the sentence? A capital letter. So, my needs to be, it needs to have a capital. Favourite film, they don't need capitals. Is, that doesn't need a capital letter. Now, Despicable Me. Now, that is a film name, so Despicable Me needs a capital letter. So let's have a look. So my start of a sentence, favourite film is Despicable Me. It's the name of the film, so it needs to have capital letters. Okay, so final sentence. Finally. Miss Andrews. Finley is coming to my house next Wednesday. So Finley is coming to my house next Wednesday. I'm going to give you a few seconds here. Where should the capital letters be in this sentence? Okay, so remember, if you need longer, just pause the video. Okay, so Finley. Now, Finley is a name of a person, so what should that have? It should have a capital letter, and it's at the start of a sentence. So even if it wasn't a name, it would need a capital letter. Okay, so it's coming to my house next Wednesday. Now, Wednesday is the name of a day of the week, so that needs a capital letter. So let's have a look. So Finley, so that needs to have a capital letter because it's a name. It's coming to my house next Wednesday. Day of the week needs a capital letter. Okay, so full stops. Full stops go at the end of a sentence, as we know. Okay, so full stops. Full stops are needed to split up a sentence so that we know when to pause. So if there wasn't a full stop, I would just keep reading and reading and reading and reading, and I would never stop, and I would never be able to take a breath, and I would end up talking like this, and I would have to keep going and keep going and keep going, and I would never be able to take a breath. Okay, so full stops are really important when we're writing and reading because it tells us when to stop. It tells us when to have a little break, have a breath, and then carry on. Okay? So we use it when we finish saying one thing and we need to start saying another thing. So if I had wrote that down then, I would have needed 2 full stops. Okay? So full stops are for statement sentences. Now, in our next English video, we're going to talk about sentence types, and I know Hares and Hedgehogs would have done that. So like questions, statements, exclamations, sentences, okay? We've done a lot on that, okay? But just remember that a full stop goes at the end of a sentence for when you need to pause and have a break, okay? And it's the end of one sentence, so you can start a new sentence, okay? So Lara visited the zoo on Saturday. End of sentence, needs a full stop. Okay? Okay, so we're not moving on to question marks today, so let's get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you... There we go. Wasn't working. I'm going to bring up now some questions. So just like last week, if you would like to do some challenge yourself and do a few extra questions on practicing your capital letters and full stops, then there is an activity in the folder to go with this video. Okay, so capital letters and full stops. We're only going to do the first. No, actually, we are going to do this sentence here. Okay, so I'm going to highlight it so you can see which one we're doing. Okay, so it needs capital letters and full stops. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you so you can see. Okay, so my friend Sam likes to go swimming. So I'm going to give you a few seconds now. Write the sentence down, add in the capital letters and the full stop for that sentence. Off you go. Okay, so if you need more time, pause the video now because I'm about to go through the answers. Okay, so let's have a look. So so it's the start of a sentence, isn't it? So it needs a capital letter. So my friend, that doesn't need a capital letter. My friend Sam. Now Sam is somebody's name, so that needs a capital letter, doesn't it? So Sam. My friend Sam likes to go swimming. What do I need at the end of a sentence? The full stop. Fantastic. Okay, so let's do another one together. Let's do this one together. Okay, so today is Monday and it is raining. Okay, so write that sentence down now, but add in the capital letters and the full stops, okay? In the correct places. Off you go. Okay, so if you need more time, just pause the video. Okay, so let's do this together. So today, now what do we need there? Hopefully you would have said that we need a capital letter because it's the start of the sentence. So today is Monday. Now Monday is the name of a day of the week, so it needs a capital letter. Today is Monday and it is raining. What do we need at the end? A full stop. So 2 capital letters in that sentence and a full stop was needed. Okay, so if you would like to carry on with this, you can do it, okay? And it'd be really good for you, good practice for capital letters and full stops, okay? So moving on to our writing task today. So we're carrying on with the shoemaker and the elves, okay? So let's get this video now. Okay, so on Monday we read the story and we answered these questions with writing full sentences. Okay, so hopefully yesterday you read these questions. If you haven't, then go back and do it after this video. Okay, so they're just some questions that will be really good for you to answer. Okay, so we're not doing that today. We're going to move on to task 1. Okay, so the shoemaker, Miss Andrews, what is the matter today? The shoemaker lives in a house with a workshop and a shop. Okay. So the workshop's where he makes the shoes and the shop is where he sells the shoes and the house is where he lives. Okay, so your first task is to draw what you think the shoemaker's house, workshop and shop looks like. Okay. And try and include as much detail in your drawing as you can. Once you have finished your drawing, can you describe, so using those adjectives that we've done lots of work on, can you describe your drawing? Now, you can write just adjectives around your drawing, but what would be better is if you could write a sentence describing your drawing, okay? And try and include some adjectives in your description. Okay, so Miss Andrews is going to show you what she quickly drew. Okay, now, so let me just do this for a second. Okay, so this is what I think. Not really showing it very well, is it? The camera's not good. Hold on. Let's try and put it on the board here. Okay. So this is what I think. It's probably because it's careful. I did it in pen instead of pencil. Okay. I'm going to do it on a bit of a slant. You can't really read the words. Okay, so this is what I think the shoemaker's house looks like. Now, I haven't drawn the workshop or the shop Okay, so I haven't included as many details as I can, but I think his house is actually a shoe. And his shop would be in this part of the house, and up here is actually where he lives. Okay, so we've got windows, glass windows, and up here would be a clock. Okay, and there's the door to enter the shop, and then inside he would go upstairs to his house, and the workshop I think would be on this level as well. And as you can see here, the heel of the boot is the stairs up to the window, and we've got a path underneath and some trees, a tree up the side, and some bushes and flowers here. Now I'm going to read you some of my adjectives. Well, actually, no. So this, I could add lots and lots more detail, okay? Now you might think the shoemaker's house just looks like a normal house. It could be a fancy new house. It could be an old house. We know he's poor, so I wonder if actually he lives in a very big house. Okay? So I'm going to read you some of my adjectives that I've put to describe this house that I've drawn, okay? So I've got different, tree shaded, because there's a tree here. Irregular. Now, irregular means bit different, okay? Bright blue. I think this part would be bright blue. Narrow. It's a shoe. Well, it's not the same size as a shoe, but I think it would be quite narrow. Okay. Odd. It's an odd house. You don't see a shoe house around. Don't walk down into town in Shrewsbury, go shopping and see a shoe house, do we? Okay. Charming. I think this is really quite a charming house. Curious. It's a curious house because it's a shoe. We've got comfortable. I think it'd be very nice and comfortable and cozy inside. It's high. It's a high house. It's in a boot. It's old. Definitely old, because up on the top here you can't really see, but I've tried to make it look like a thatch house. So if you go into Shrewsbury, into town, you'll see lots of buildings with this sort of wooden front, okay? And rickety. I think it'd be quite rickety, so quite unsturdy, so it would move around quite a bit because it's a boot. Okay, it's a boot house. Okay, so that is my example of what the shoemaker's house would look like. Now, you might think of something completely different. Okay, so you just have to draw what you think the house, the workshop, and the shop would look like, and describe it. Now, I haven't used a sentence, but I would like you to try and use a sentence to describe your house as well as the adjectives, okay? And then once you're done, share on Teams. So, bye. And